Hello, Miss Barber here with the second video of lesson 5.8. We just watched the video on 45, 45, 90 triangles, and we found out that it was in the ratio of a root 2 for every one. Now we're going to be doing 30, 60, 90 triangles. So for 30, 60, 90 now, this is a scalene triangle. All three angles are different, so all three sides are going to be different. And they're going to be in the ratios as follows. Opposite 30 degrees is going to be X. We'll call it B in my chart. So you'll see here it's B. Opposite 60 degrees is going to be X times root 3. So we'll call it B root 3 in my chart. And then opposite 90 degrees, my hypotenuse will be 2X. We'll call it 2B in my chart. So for all of these, just like with 45, 45, 90, we're going to be finding the other two sides, given one side, using these ratios. So you're going to be usually solving for B and then filling in your chart as necessary. So let's try our first example. Just like before, we're going to go ahead and draw my chart. Now instead of 45, 45, 90, it's going to be 30, 60, 90. And it's going to be B root 3, so B times root 3, and then 2B, so 2 times B. We're going to be finding both X and Y in my chart, but let's see what they told me. They told me 5 root 3, that's a side. It's opposite 60 degrees. So that means underneath 60 in my chart, I'm going to write 5 root 3. This means B root 3 is equal to 5 root 3. I need to get B by itself, and this is being multiplied, so to undo multiplication, I'm going to divide. So I'm dividing both sides by root 3. It'll cancel for both, and I'm going to get that B is 5. So I can go ahead and put 5 in under B. Last part of my chart I have to fill out is 2B. Well, that's going to be 2 times your B of 5 that we just found. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. So that's going to go under my chart under 90. Now to answer the questions, we first will find X. Well, X is opposite 90. Well, in my chart, opposite 90, I got 10. So that means X is going to be equal to 10. So opposite 90 degrees is a side of 10. For the next one, Y is opposite 30. Well, opposite 30 in my chart was 5. So that means Y has a side length of 5. So you can see my ratio of 5 root 3, 10 for across from 30, 60, and 90. And these ratios will continue in every single one of these problems. So let's start letter B. Again, you're going to draw your chart. 30, 60, 90, B times root 3, 2B. All right, now you're going to look in your picture and see what side they gave you. They gave you 2 opposite 30. So I'm going to write 2 in under 30. Sorry. That was the bell. So B is 2. So I wrote 30, 2 under 30. So if you see, that means B is 2. So B root 3 is just going to be 2 root 3. B is 2, so B root 3 would be 2 root 3. 2B would be 2 times my B of 2, which is 4. So the chart was pretty easy to fill out. Now let's answer the questions. Opposite 60 is my X, so X is going to be 2 root 3. Now let's do the same for Y. Y is opposite 90. Opposite 90 in my chart was 4, so Y is going to equal 4. So that's it for letter B. Again, these problems may look different depending on the numbers you start with and what sides they started with. So in letter A, they started with the side opposite 60, 5 root 3. In B, we started with the side opposite 30, which was 2. Now in this example, we're going to be starting with the side opposite 90, which they're going to label 2 root 3. So let's go ahead and draw my chart. So again, 30, 60, 90. b, b root 3, 2b. And opposite 90 is 2 root 3. So I'm going to write 2 root 3 under 90. So what this is saying is 2b equals 2 root 3. So let's set them equal and solve for b. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. The 2's cancel on both, so I'm going to be left with b equals root 3. So I can go ahead and fill that in under 30. It's going to be root 3. Now, to fill in under 60, it's going to be b root 3. Well, I just said b was root 3, so b root 3 is going to be root 3 for b times root 3. That's up there. Root 3 times root 3 is the same thing as the square root of 9. And as you might recall from what I said earlier in the first part of this lesson with 45, 45, 90, that root 3 squared, root 3 times itself, the square and the square root would cancel, and I'd be left with plain old 3. Now to answer the question, first let's find x. Well, x is opposite, they just labeled it n, but we know that's going to be 30 degrees. It's the smaller one. 2n would be 60. So opposite 30 is root 3. So x is going to be equal to root 3 looking at my chart. Opposite 60 is y, and in my chart, opposite 60 is 3. So y will be equal to 3. So again, don't answer the questions of what's in the triangle until your chart is completely filled out. Let's do a few more examples. So this time we started with the side opposite 90, but again, every problem could look different depending on the numbers they gave you. Here I've got a triangle. They labeled one angle 60, so this one by default has to be 30. Now let's draw my chart. 30, 60, 90, b, b root 3, 2b, or not to be. That is the question. Just kidding. All right. They labeled side 12, which is opposite 60. So I have to substitute 12 in underneath 60. That means b root 3 is equal to 12. So I can set b root 3 equal to 12. To get b by itself, I have to divide by root 3. Root 3's would cancel, and I'd be left with b equals 12 over root 3. Again, you might remember from the 45, 45, 90 that you're not allowed to have root 3 or any square root in your final answer in the denominator. So to get rid of it, we're going to rationalize. So we're going to multiply both the top and the bottom by root 3. Multiplying across 12 times root 3 is 12 root 3. Root 3 times root 3 is going to be plain old 3. The square root goes away because you're squaring the square root. You're undoing it. That's why we always multiply it by itself. What's different about this time is now I have 12 over 3. Well, I know what 12 divided by 3 is. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So this is going to simplify to 4 root 3. So that's going to be my b. So I'm going to substitute that in here for 4 root 3. Filling in for 90, 90 is going to be 2 times b. So it's going to be 2 times my 4 root 3. Well, I can multiply 2 and 4 together, and I'm going to get 8 root 3 when I do that. So now I'm going to fill in the rest of my triangle. I need to know x, which is opposite 30. Well, in my chart, opposite 30 is 4 root 3. So x should be 4 root 3. Sorry, that's a 3. Y is opposite 90. Well, opposite 90 is 8 root 3. So y is going to equal 8 root 3. All right, letter E. Again, we're going to draw my chart. 30, 60, 90. This is why I said you'll probably have these ratios memorized. B, b root 3, 2b. Let's look at my chart to see what they gave me. they told me 24 root 3, which is opposite 90. So I'm going to write 24 root 3 under 90. What this is saying is 2b equals 24 root 3. So I have to divide both sides by 2 to get b by itself. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So b is going to be equal to 12 root 3. So I can put that in for b, 12 root 3. So b root 3 will be 12 root 3 times root 3. Sorry that it's getting really small in there. But I'm taking b, which is 12 root 3, and multiplying it by root 3. 12 root 3 times root 3 is the same thing as 12 times 3, which is 36. You could use a calculator for that. Now my whole chart's filled out, so I'm going to answer the questions. X is opposite 30, so X will be 12 root 3 from my chart. Y is opposite 60, so Y will be 36 from my chart. All right, last question. Woohoo. All right, draw the chart again. B root 3, 2b. There you go. All right, let's see what they gave me. I see 18, which is opposite 90, so I'm going to substitute 18 here where 2b is. This means 2b equals 18. Dividing both sides by 2, b is going to equal 9, so I could substitute that in there for 9. So b root 3 would be 9 root 3. Well, that chart was easy to fill out this time, not too much tricky arithmetic or algebra. Now I'm just going to answer the question. X is opposite 30 is 9. So I'm going to let X equal 9. Y is opposite 60, so here's 60. So Y is going to